Shalom, shalom. I don't know if the sound is clear. Let me check.
See, the flesh is made to chill. The flesh was created to enjoy. So it's a fight. It's not that you don't have particular thoughts. You sometimes you even
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Okay, the sound is clear. Just bear with me real quick. Gotta change something. Okay, let's see. "100% truth." Okay, since I got that situated, let's get into this lesson. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing in His word. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing in His word, Lord willing as a whole, that you continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Yahawah, the sisters of His faith and His truth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shemal Shai will allow this lesson to be edifying to the hopeful elect. So like I'm just looking at behind the screen. Just want to make sure that this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. To those that's listening, just got to make sure I'm, let me see. Okay, the title of this lesson is Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi always has teachers on earth teaching 100% truth. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Okay. Because I know a lot of people like to say nobody is teaching 100% truth. And I guess this title had to come out again. So Yahawah does nothing without revealing His secrets to the prophets. We're going to get a lot of classic precepts and give some sense to it, so that Jake that's in the truth and that's not in the truth, that's observing the truth, understand that it is 100% truth from Genesis to Revelation. And somebody on earth has to be teaching 100% truth. Okay, so Amos 3:7, surely Yahweh Shemashai power will do nothing, but He revealeth His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. Okay, so if prophecies is unfolding on the earth, someone must be revealing it correctly. Yahweh does not leave His people without living teachers. Truth is not locked in the past. It is actively taught. It's not locked away. Like you can't never search the hidden messages or secrets or mysteries the Lord have given your forefathers, and you can't understand it now. There's no way, right? Let me get this. Psalms 119, verse 99 to 100, right? This is something even for myself, I don't want to be taught a lie. So this is a question we should ask ourselves. Is anybody teaching 100% truth on the earth? Can there be somebody teaching 100% truth? Is it possible? Psalms 119, verse 99 and 100. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. How can anybody understand more than the ancients? Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. How can anybody right now learn more than the ancients? Because we're in a time where everything is complete. The things that happen in the old, things that are prophesied for the future, we're in that time right now. In this time frame leading to the coming of Yahawashi, the things that are prophesied is for this time, and we're able to understand. When it comes to World War III, the missiles, the lake of fire, we're able to understand that. Now, when it comes to reincarnation, your forefathers understood that. They believed it. In our time, we were what, 350 years plus without this knowledge. So to hear about reincarnation, regeneration, yeah, right, you couldn't understand it. But in order to have 100% truth, you have to understand reincarnation, regeneration. Okay. It's another one that came to mind, but I kind of lost it. But we know more than the ancients in this time, right? But by the teachers that's teaching you, this is the reason why, because the Lord set up men. Let me actually get that. St. John, the 4th chapter. We all enter into other men's labors, right? The Lord has revealed lesson after lesson, precept after precept, etymology of words, of language to different men. It's men that really put time into studying. Okay. So I want to just get straight to the point. This is St. John chapter 4, verse 34. It says, and Yahawashi saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. And he that reapeth receiveth wages and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true. One soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap what whereon ye bestow no labor. Other men labor, and ye are entered into their labors. Right? And every last one of us enter into other men's labors, even if it goes from Abba Bibbins to the 7 to Apostle Tahar on down. We enter into other men's labors from the time of the apostles, before the apostles, then the prophets, and then the prophets of old, so on and so on. We enter into other men's labor. We're basically carrying the baton in doing the same thing, right? Jeremiah, he plainly spoke about it. Jeremiah 28, verse 8, right? You're supposed to be a prophet of the good of Yahawah and the terror of Yahawah, right? The ugly, the things that happen in the scriptures. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me, before Jeremiah, and before thee of old, prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence, right? We're in generations after Jeremiah, right? And so these prophets stem from the nation of Israel. So prophets before our time, this is 2025, they prophesied against many countries, kingdoms, war, and evil and pestilence. But the Lord rose up the prophets again. He rose them up again. So now we're getting back to the lot of prophesying against many countries, kingdoms, war, evil, pestilence, leaders, and men and women. Even in our own nation, we are bringing forth the gospel of what's going to happen to the unrighteous, right? The wicked in our nation. Okay. So there must be men on earth teaching Yahawah's secrets accurately. Okay. So again, there is no lie of the truth. And you got to tell yourself, if we're given the Rakakwadash, and the Rakakwadash is giving us remembrance of all things, you basically saying the spirit of Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi is lying. Because truly, when you teaching this truth, it all stems from Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi. I'm a mere human. My wisdom of this world is not compared to the wisdom of Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi. If we couldn't teach 100% truth, why would he give us the complete Bible? So this is saying 1 John chapter 2 in verse 20. It says, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Through Yahawashi, we get the Rakakwadash, and the Rakakwadash is going to teach us all things. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and that no lies of the truth. Right? We have ancient spirits dwelling within in our temples. Right? You was always given this truth. And especially if you're a prophet in this time, you come back as a prophet again. But guess what? Each time in the generation of the Israelites, the truth always been the truth. It never was a lie. It can't be. There cannot be no lie of the truth. It cannot be a lie of the truth. It has to be 100% correct. So the 144,000 are described as having no guile. They're described, and you have to understand, you got some of the 144,000 in the spirit world with Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahawashi, and then you have a few that will remain that's on earth. Okay? So when we look at Revelation, the 14th chapter, verse 4 and 5, I read verse 3. It says, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man can learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Why are this is a vision? So why is the 144,000 only able to sing the song? Because those are the pillars. These are the shepherds. These are the teachers of the sheep, the men, women, and children. We read in Amos 7, the Lord would do nothing until he revealed his secrets to the prophets. That's all the Lord been doing, setting up the prophets so that they can have understanding and feed the sheep so that they can plant and water other sheep. And the Lord is going to raise up other prophets. The Lord have way more prophets than 5, than 10. It's 144,000. And again, some are in the spirit world and some or others are on the earth prophesying, teaching this word, and they're singing a song that nobody else is singing. It doesn't matter if you in the truth or not in the truth. If you are not part of the 144,000, you are not teaching this song 100% correctly. Nobody is teaching the song like the 144,000. These are they which were not defiled with woman. This is not speaking about a literal woman. This is a metaphor, right? Because this is in a vision. This woman is speaking about wine, philosophy. Okay. So these men of the Lord are not defiled with philosophy. If a man is laying with a woman and this woman is not married, because this verse is not speaking about a married woman. If a man lays with a woman and she is single, he's not defiled. Okay. But this is speaking about philosophy, doctrine, wine. For they are virgins, not literal virgins, but virgins in the spiritual sense, which the physical meaning of virgin is untouched. So spiritually, they haven't been touched with any other doctrine, any other philosophy, any other wine. They're virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So physically, the disciples was following Yahawashi. The disciples is symbolic for the other teachers, the other apostles, prophets, evangelists, and teachers, right? And when you look at Luke, the 10th chapter, verse 1, when the 70, he sent the 70 2 by 2 to cities that he would go. So now spiritually, the prophets is on the earth, and Yahawashi got the prophets in different countries, different cities, and they're teaching the word. Guess what? Whithersoever the Lamb will go, you're there, wherever you at. The 144,000 is brothers in Memphis, it's brothers in Australia, it's brothers in Texas, it's brothers in New York, different areas in New York, right? ATL, right? The 144,000, you got some in the spirit world, and you got some that is on earth prophesying to the sheep. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb. Now, those that's in the spirit world, right, that died in this truth, and even those later on, they are part of the first fruits. Those that remain enduring to the end of the arrival of Yahawashi during the time of Jacob trouble, they are the first fruits. Speaking about the 144,000, verse 5 is the key. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. Is this speaking about the 144,000 before they ever was on the earth? No, this is speaking about the 144,000 that was prophesying. Because when we get a new covenant fully, we're not going to be teaching our brothers and sisters no more that they're Israelites in this. We're going to be teaching the other nations. So when we are in the kingdom, we're not going to ever have any guile. This is speaking about on earth, these 144,000, when they were prophesying, they never spoke a lie. They was teaching the truth. It's all Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi. All right. I got to get this. Proverbs, the 16th chapter, verse 1. Proverbs 16:1. The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from Yahawah. So each lesson, right? Each breakdown, all of this is from Yahawah. Yes, we're human where we do make error. We slip the tongue. We make mistakes. But all of this is prepared by Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi. For us to get in line, you have to be continuous in learning, mastering, reading. And I know we humans, like I'm not a master at reading. I just started liking to read coming in this truth. I'm not a person to just sit there and read and my mind is focused. My mind is running a mile a minute. But it's times where you really want to grow. You want to come up with a lesson. You want to understand who you is. You want to understand things that happen. You got to sometimes sit your ass down and actually read. In order for me to grow and understand, I have to read. In order for me to grow, I have to watch brothers bring out this word so that certain points can be embedded in my mind. If you don't want to teach a lie, you just think naturally you're going to get this. No, it's all prepared by Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi. If you are the one he chosen to carry that load. So when we go back to Revelations, the 14th chapter, verse 5, in their mouth was found no guile. Guile goes into lie, deception, mixture, hypocrisy, meaning no lies, no false doctrine, no mixing truth with error, no emotional manipulation, no Christianity tradition added, or some shabba dabba ding dong. If the 144,000 have no guile, then their doctrine must also have no guile. Because in order not to speak a lie, whatever you teaching has to be truth. When you look up truth, it is the opposite from false. So if we say from Genesis to Revelation, the whole volume of the book, the 144,000 don't teach no lie. And I do believe, if we're pursuing to be of the elect, it's men on the earth that are walking in the shoes of one of the 144,000. Literally. Okay, the elect, the 1/3, part of that 1/3 in Zechariah is the 144,000. Okay, and they're walking on the earth and they're prophesying. They're not sitting being idle. They're not picking their job over Yahawah Shemashai. They're not putting their ladies or their children before the Lord. They're abandoning those things, just like the prophets of old, the apostles of old, the disciples. Okay, I think that's Matthew, the 19th chapter. I could be mistaken. Let me check. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Yahawashi said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit every everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And this is speaking about the disciples, the learners, the pupils, the students, which the students is the men of the Lord, right? Not you women. For you to fully have a complete understanding, you're going to learn from the men of the Lord. It doesn't matter if a woman is reading and she can't, most of the time you ain't going to get what's even being said. Let alone these scriptures is not made for a woman to master, right? You just need a teacher to be doing a lesson on whatever you came across and he giving the sense. This is not about you trying to be all deep, not for a woman. Okay, this is for men. Now, of course, it is men that might not be teachers, but you as a man to lead and put order in your household, you're going to have to take time to actually take in the word and to be able to gurgitate it. But you want to do your due diligence and studying too, to go teach your wife and your children. Okay, this is for men. This is for the disciples. These is for the apostles, the prophets, and evangelists. You supposed to forsake your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, your wife, and your children in the lands, the jobs that you have for Yahawah's sake. Okay, to receive that 100-fold, to be a real servant of the Lord, everything comes last. And I mean that everything comes last. Oh, I got a new girl. Oh, I got to take a break. Man, we're not even in the time for that right now. You are still damn slave. You don't got your inheritance. You ain't living in your land. You pop the girl, you lay with her. Okay, now let's get back to work. Okay, we rest when Yahawashi come and get us. Okay, so let me get this again. If the 144,000 have no guile, their doctrine must also have no guile. Okay, so the true teachers must teach the whole counsel of Yahawah. Let's get Acts, the 20th chapter, verse 27. This is Acts chapter 20, verse 27. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. Right? Basically, what's the word, shun? Let's read that in the NLT. Shrink. In the NLT, it says, for I didn't shrink from declaring all that the Most High wants you to know. Right? In the counsel of the Lord is the volume of the book. What is the whole counsel of Yahawashi? The law, the Torah, right? The prophets, the Psalms, the wisdom, the parables, the dark sayings, the prophecies, the judgment, the grace, and the mercy. That's the whole counsel of Yahawashi. Let me say it again for those in the back. 100% truth. What is the whole counsel of the Lord? And it has to be taught 100% correct. The law, the prophets, the Psalms, the wisdom, the parables, the dark sayings, the prophecies, the judgment, the grace, and the mercy. It should be delivered and sent out 100% correctly. Okay? Let's get the book of Luke, the 24th chapter, verse 44. So this is Luke chapter 24, verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which are written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. And all things in the scriptures have not been fulfilled concerning him. Okay? Then opened he their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. And how did the Lord open us up? St. John 6:63. The spirit became quickening, right? Made us alive. He have given us the Rakakwadash. We're made alive. Made alive. Oh, now I'm about to live. I'm about to do this. No, you're made alive with a mission, with a purpose, knowing how to please the Lord and how to do his will. Okay? We were sent here to do his will. We were sent here to give understanding. Every lesson is to give every man and woman oil. That's what this is. We're giving you oil in the law of Moses, in the prophets, and in the Psalms. We're giving you oil. So if he's saying which are written in the law, that means you have to 100% teach what's in the law, let alone concerning Yahawashi in the law. It has to be 100%. Going in the prophets, why would he say this in the prophets? If nobody have 100%, then he should X that out. Nobody gonna have 100%. But it has to be a prophet teaching 100% what the prophets was teaching concerning Yahawashi. It has to be a prophet teaching 100% concerning Yahawashi in the Psalms. There's no way around it. 100% truth has to be taught throughout these scriptures. So anyone teaching only the New Testament or only the Old Testament or only love or only prophecy is not teaching 100% truth. Yeah, I might dabble in some prophecies here and there, but brothers get into the milk. Brothers get into the reflection of Yahawashi. Brothers get into some history. Brothers get into speaking about superpowers, right? Or healing. Brothers speak about Jacob's trouble. Brothers speak about women. Brothers speak about the kingdom. You have to bring out the volume of the whole book in 100% truth. Okay, the law must be taught correctly. If it's got to be taught correctly, that means it has to be delivered 100% correctly. You have to teach 100% truth. Okay. Isaiah the 8th chapter, verse 20. It's just like when you in school and they give you a pop-up quiz. It's either you getting 100%, you getting 90, or you getting 80. Okay. When the teacher is teaching you, the teacher is trying to teach you 100% what you need to know. Okay. I mean, that's what they're supposed to. But this Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So you have to distinctively make sure you divide in the word of truth in the law and the testimony. And if those things line up to be true, that's 100% correct. If you teach in the law throughout the first 5 books of the Bible and from the words that Paul was bringing forth in Yahawashi, dividing those words of truth to line up for point, it has to come directly 100%. The testimonies of Yahawashi has to be delivered 100% correctly. So if we're not speaking according to this word, there's no light in us, right? Let's get Malachi 2 and 7. Right? It has to be men on the earth teaching 100% truth. I believe it. Okay, this is Malachi 2 and 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of Yahawah of hosts. Okay, so a true teacher explains the law spiritually and rightly, does not abolish it, does not twist it, shows how it applies to Israel today. But wisdom and dark sayings are a requirement. All right, let's get Psalms 78. This is Psalm 78. I'll start at verse 1. Verse 2 is the point. It says, give ear, O my people, to my law, and incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable, and I will utter dark sayings. A parable is a earth story, but a heavenly matter. Okay. And parables is like metaphors. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 6. Yahawashi was going to utter parables, dark sayings. Proverbs 1 and 6. To understand a proverb, which is even like a parable, in the interpretation, the words of the wise in their dark sayings. To understand a proverb. Why? Because proverbs, parables, a lot of them are coded. The Bible is coded. It's a puzzle. You got to put the puzzle together. Not everyone understands it. Teachers must have spiritual discernment. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, verse 14. You have to have that spiritual discernment. If someone teaches the Bible in a shallow or surface level way, they are not sent, right? And it's not about me being deep. It's not about me being deep. This is all Yahawah Shema Shai. He's actually deep. How he ordered the word, how he sectioned it, right? This prophet is here. The history books is here, right? Look how he did the whole New Testament. The New Testament is a huge stumbling block for a lot of Jake. For the Old Testament to be written in Hebrew and the New Testament to be written in Greek, that's a stumbling block for a lot of Jake if they can't go into the Greek for certain words, certain points, or the Hebrew, right? There's a lot of things in the law that's a stumbling block. Just because we're living in this Western world, you'll speak about grape, and then now these brothers is you brothers is grapers. But you don't understand that brothers is actually teaching something that pertains to the law in the ancient world, even though this still applies, but we're in captivity where that might look a little shun upon. Brothers is going through history and certain precepts in homology of words to show you what dimsel, the age of where women were married. And the Lord is so smooth, you don't see a lot of young damsels and accurate name in verses. That's a huge stumbling block for Jake because they can't see it. Okay. But guess what? The scriptures is here for those that are moved by the Rakakwadash. Okay. Because that Rakakwadash is not something earthly. It's heavenly. So prophecy must be understood and explained. This is why we must read. This is why we must hear the word too. Like the people of Berea, always have a readiness mind to hear the word before you hurry up and open your mouth. But this is Revelations chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of prophecy. Romans 10 and 17. And keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. That word keep goes into guard. You have to guard what you've been reading. You have to guard what you heard, especially if you believe it. And of course, I know we in the flesh is sometimes you hearing the word and you might forget. But guess what? You got to always find your way back into that chapter, back into that book. Reading a lot of these things over and over again, because of course we battle in the flesh, and you always come across a new precept. You read in this translation, you going into this homology. There's so much learning that you lose some of the old precepts you have in your mind, but that doesn't take away from 100% truth. This is Daniel 12 and 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. Those that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. What is that? That means if they're going to understand the truth, they're going to understand 100% truth. So true teachers identify prophetic symbols, explain nations, beasts, and judgments. Just watch this one brother that tried to be eloquent on TikTok saying the so-called white man is not the Edomites. To be a true teacher, you have to be able to explain nations, explain beasts, explain judgments. If we're saying that the so-called white man is not the Edomites, but Rome were considered Edom. Rome was considered Edom or Idumeans. Harad was considered an Idumean. And if you know in history, if those was the Edom and Idumeans, those was Edomites. Those were so-called considered white people. And when you understand they hid in the caves where the Lord put them in the lower state where they couldn't deceive the nations, like we see in multiple precepts and revelations, then they rose again. In the time of the Renaissance, Rome rose again and they were Edomites. And then who started going four corners of the earth, trying to make slaves and buy this and overtake other people's land? European Edomites, who were Caucasian. Same Europeans that left Europe came to America to have their own independence and had war with the Spanish, the British, and the French so that America can have its independence. July 4th, 1776, and they were European, so-called white men and women. It's kind of plain and simple, but hey, let me not flood you with that. Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi promised pastors according to his heart, just like David, according to his heart, according to his mind. This is why the men of the Lord teach the way that they do, right? Because the Lord have chosen prophets according to his own heart. This is Jeremiah 3:15. This motivates. This should motivate brothers like, Lord willing, you stepping into this lot of being a teacher, and literally you was molded to be a person that was molded according to the Lord's heart and mind. So each lesson brothers is doing, the brothers mannerism, how he come with his wisdom, that's all the mind of Yahawah. Every man of the Lord has a piece. Ooh, that's a good point. Every man has a piece of Yahawah if you are according to his heart. Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So truly, it's men out here that have the heart of Yahawah, the mind of Yahawah within them. And that all comes by the Rakak Wadash. Okay? Hey, a lot of some of you women, oh man, I'm married to a man that's according to the heart of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. And that's not all yay. Now you should be getting in line. You should be playing your role even more. Hey, brothers, get in congregations. If you believe that your elder, like I'm under the apostles of Great Millstone, under Zion and them of GMS, Niagara Falls, and Buffalo, how these brothers move, they should be moving according to the heart of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And for me, I'm able to see that on order, how brothers is teaching. Because what? They're not entertainers, not motivational speakers, not church tradition. They came in the order and decency of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Teachers are feeders of truth and not feel-good teachers. You know? And for me to hear a teacher say, hey, if you ain't doing 3 videos out the week, you getting out of here. And I'm like, man, I could do more than that. I did 3, and I'm looking like, man, I got all this time. I already did my 3. Nah, if I got room to do more, I should do more. And it's not only that you're doing it for a man, you're doing it for Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, because I believe the Lord set us here for his other sheep. Because this sheep that couldn't even fit the shoes of a pastor or a teacher, but the Lord chosen men to fit that lot. This is why, brother, you got the mindset according to Yahawah's heart. Okay? The elect will hear them. The elect will hear these teachers that's teaching with no God. St. John 10, verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. The voice is the doctrine that comes through the prophet's mouth, because the prophet is the mouthpiece of Yahawah. Let's actually line that up with St. John 17, and I believe verse 21. That they all may be one. Wait, I don't think, is that the one? I think is it 19? Okay, no, it's verse 20. I said at verse 19, it says, and for their sake I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth, which is the word. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. So how is the other believers coming in here if those disciples Yahawashi prayed for in this chapter is teaching the other believers, and the other believers they became believers through their word? The word that these disciples is teaching had to be 100% truth. And if they was teaching 100% truth in their time, you don't think the Lord is not going to allow this next bulk or this small sanctuary that he has established on this side, and the men that he woke up, you don't think that they were made to be risen through the Spirit to teach 100% truth? Yes. So that the other elect on this side, men, women, and children, can believe through the word that was given to us. This truth, okay? 100% truth has to be taught, regardless if you accept it or not. St. John 18, verse 37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Yahawashi answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth, and every one that is of truth heareth my voice. Right? Truth, recognize truth. The elect are drawn to the sound doctrine. Right? What they say, real recognize real. Right? When you like the old cartoons, when somebody was cooking something good, the animal will float in the air and be drawn to that smell. The elect are drawn to sound doctrine. They're drawn to that 100% truth, regardless of saying, "Oh, that's 100% truth." They're drawn to the truth, and the elect is always investigating. They're always trying to sharpen their minds to the truth of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. So there must be teachers before the end, because how can the sheep be ready for what's to come if it's no teachers? Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come. And this is what we're doing. And the Lord have us teaching a word on another level. That level is the unicorn, right? Because if it wasn't for the internet, yeah, we would be on the highways and byways, but brothers would be moving around. We would, of course, be in our city, but then some brothers that the Lord might move might be going to different cities, different countries, teaching the word. But the Lord made this ministry easy, where you could teach right at your house, go right on one of your main streets in your city, go out to the highways and byways, and you can press record and send it out. You can go live, send it out. You can do a video and post it and put it on. Oh, I want this video to be uploaded Thursday. I want it to be live Thursday. And then it premieres Thursday. The Lord set this all up so that now the ministry is actually more easy. Because all you got to do is record, send it out, and the internet take it to other places. More people clicking it, more people liking it, people sharing it on their YouTube channel or sharing it to other places. Guess what? It's just getting passed around for that real elect to absorb what's being said. Some people watching the lesson, it might not even be of the elect. And the Lord can be having this person share it, this person speak about it, this person watching it. And somebody like, yo, what you watching? Oh, I'm watching this lesson right here. Yo, you should send that to me. The Lord is having these lessons go around. Okay. So the end cannot come unless what? The truth is preached. Israel is warned. Lies are exposed. Doctrine is clarified. So the standard is perfection in doctrine, not mixture. Okay? The standard is perfection in doctrine. That's what we truly need to be perfect in. The doctrine. The more you perfect in hearing that, the more men or women can have fear of the Lord. Like, dang, I shouldn't do this, or I shouldn't do that. 2 Corinthians 2:17. For we are not as many which corrupt the word of the Most High, but as of serenity, but as of the Most High, in the sight of the Most High, speak we in Hamashiach. So we don't want to corrupt the words of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, because if you corrupt it through the Spirit, even if you don't see it, you don't care for the sheep. You don't care for the sheep. That's why when it comes with teaching, before you speak, you want to make sure you examine it. And just being honest, me and my brothers, we always speak about this. Even I believe Apostle Gabar recently spoke about it. But we're in the time of the rare bullet, where it's either you choosing a council of the elders or the council of the young men. I was always raised under older people because they always was given wisdom, Jews. Even though when I was in the world, I was given Jews for wickedness, but I always cleaved to people older than me. The elders or men that was like 5, 8, 20 years older than me. I was always chilling with the old heads. So coming in this truth, the Lord set up elders, and you got young men in this thing that's doing their little thing. But Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, he know what sheep is going to hear him, and the Lord allowed me and my brothers through the power and spirit of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi to have brothers get the counsel of the elders. And the counsel of the elders, they going through the whole volume of the book. You remember what we said earlier? The whole counsel of Yahawashi is the law, the prophets, the psalms, wisdom, parables, dark sayings, prophecy, judgment, grace, and mercy. The elders and today, that's what they should be going over. And the elders that me and my brothers is under, starting with Apostle Tahar, they're going over everything. And then they doing lessons over and over again because there's always new sheep coming in. And because we're in this flesh, sometimes you miss things, okay? Or you forget. This Titus 1:9, it says, hold fast the faithful word as he have taught, as he been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gangsayer. And this is what we're doing with teaching. We're trying to exhort, encourage you, and convince you. Now, it's not just the end off of what brothers is bringing out. Have a readiness mind to hear, and then go do your due diligence and research all the verses brothers brought out, each point. And Lord willing, you be persuaded through the Spirit that what was said to you was the actual truth. Okay? So sound doctrine is no contradictions. Scriptures interpret scriptures. No private interpretation. Better yet, just because we said that, let's go to 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 19. Because even if brothers is teaching, I know a lot of Christians like, oh, you can't have any private interpretation. No, we understand in scriptures, you have to give sense of what something is saying. Okay, because things is written in code. So this is 2 Peter's chapter 1. Just like when you get certain books that can like, I don't know some of y'all, but schools I used to go to, they give you certain test books that say if you're going over something in the back of the book, it will have the answer to whatever chapter, whatever book, whatever question in that book, it will have an answer in the back. So if somebody was asking you about Napoleon and what war, such as such, you can go back to the book and it will give you the answer to when he started war and and everything he did. So with the Bible, you giving these verses, you getting precepts to line with the precepts, but you're giving the sense. Okay, the precepts is actually helping build the understanding of that lesson, and you giving sense is making it even more complete. Okay, because a lot of these things are not plain. Even if you add the precepts, they're not just plain. You have to give the sense, the meaning. That's what an answer is when it comes to, finding answers of a question. The answer makes the question makes more sense. So 2 Peter's chapter 1, verse 19, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation, right? Because truly, if it was a private, everybody's getting the same, all of us should be having the same understanding. Okay. Oh, I got a new meaning for this. No, it should all be the same to align with sound doctrine, right? If this is one faith, one God, one doctrine, that means the understanding, even if you give it sense, should all go to being the same. Verse 21, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of the Most High spake as they were moved by the Rakakwadash. So everything that was written, those that prophesied these things, they were moved by the Rakakwadash. Just like in 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, the men that were writing the words that Ezra was speaking, which was really the first 5 books of the Bible, the Spirit of the Lord was upon them for them to know what they were actually writing. So it's the same for all the words that was spoken and written in the Bible. These men were moved by the Rakakwadash to bring forth this. And it was all by Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi. Okay. So when we look according to the Bible, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi has men on the earth teaching his truth 100%. Just like the Lord what he has on the left-hand side, he has false teachers, deceivers, manipulators. Okay, the 144,000 are without guile, therefore their doctrine is pure. So The 144,000, those that are still remaining on the earth, they have to be teaching 100% truth to fulfill Revelations, the 14th chapter, verse 4 and 5. The whole Bible must be taught in harmony because this is a song. Okay? Law, prophets, psalms, wisdom, parables, prophecies must align. If they're not aligned, it won't be sound doctrine. The elect will recognize the truth when they hear it. That's how they know the voice of the Lord, by the prophet and the product coming out of the prophet, which is what? The law, the prophecies, the psalms, the wisdom, the dark sayings, and the parables. The elect will recognize the truth when they hear it. There must be men on the earth right now teaching 100% truth without guile, without no lies, without no twists, without no gimmicks, according to the full counsel of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And again, what is the full counsel of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi? The whole counsel of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is the law, the prophets, right? The psalms, the wisdom, the parables, the dark sayings, prophecy, judgment, grace, and mercy. So somebody on the earth is pushing and teaching 100% truth. I agree with this. And by the power and the spirit of Yahawah Shema Shai, the Lord allow the men of Great Millstone to actually bring forth that fruit of bringing forth 100% truth on the earth, right? And it's all by Yahawah Shema Shai. No man on his own did it. No man got this truth on his own. It was all by Yahawah Shema Shai. Okay, so I want to give all praises to the one true power that makes all of this possible. Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the whole full elect in the same Spirit that are scattered four corners of the earth, Lord willing as a whole, that you all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Aqua, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot. And Lord willing, this edifying lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And you see the title of this lesson, Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, always has teachers on the earth teaching 100% truth and no God. With that, shalom, shalom, abad, babal.